My dad was just of that generation, where it's just like, he was Clint Eastwood, less is more. Simple grunts is how he communicated.
People care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
Ryan Reynolds had long been hailed as Marvel's comedic powerhouse, a charismatic force who redefined superhero films through his portrayal of Deadpool. Yet, in a shocking turn of events, the studio reportedly severed ties with him, citing behind-the-scenes turmoil tied to Blake Lively's alleged misrepresentations. Insiders claim Ryan was blindsided, plunging from his usual upbeat persona into disbelief and frustration. Marvel's decision to end such a lucrative partnership stunned Hollywood, marking one of the industry's most unexpected rifts in recent memory. The foundation for this drama had been laid months prior, though few recognized the early signs. The initial focus was a new film adaptation directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni, a project entirely separate from Marvel. Blake Lively, cast in a key role, was expected to bring her signature elegance and poise. Initial glimpses from the set, coupled with positive remarks from both Justin and Blake, hinted at nothing amiss. It appeared to be another polished Hollywood production destined for success, however. As the revelation sent shockwaves through Hollywood, attention turned to Ryan. For weeks, speculation swirled. Was he truly unaware of Blake's actions, or had he played an active role? Leaked messages suggested he may have been privy to some behind-the-scenes maneuvering. The usually quick-witted actor, known for his social media humor, remained silent, further fueling curiosity. Matters escalated when Blake's legal team abruptly resigned, stating that her version of events conflicted with the documents they reviewed. An almost unprecedented move in the industry. Marvel, watching from the sidelines, grew uneasy. Ryan was crucial to their broader cinematic vision. Deadpool, once an unexpected R-rated gamble, had become a cultural phenomenon. His comedic timing meshed so seamlessly with the character that fans found it hard to envision anyone else in the role. As controversy mounted, Marvel faced a dilemma. If Ryan was truly entangled in public manipulation, would that tarnish the beloved anti-hero? While rumors about Blake's strategic ambitions escalated, she responded by filing official complaints against Justin. She cited alleged discomfort on set, including comments about her postpartum appearance and concerns about safety protocols. If her claims held weight, they could justify her frustrations. Yet, additional message logs suggested a more complex picture. Justin had reportedly been considerate of her comfort, referencing his own physical challenges as part of why he was sensitive to any physical exertion.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, got snot coming out of my nose.
The notion of an unprofessional or neglectful director didn't align with these messages. Still, the real bombshell for Ryan came when further leaks suggested Blake had been leveraging his name, not occasionally but repeatedly. At times, she allegedly directed him to make calls or issue indirect warnings. This raised alarms at Marvel, which launched an internal review of his contract. Were Marvel Resources or Deadpool promotional channels implicated? Did any clauses regarding professional conduct put Ryan at risk? The most damaging rumor was that Ryan had allegedly used his Marvel ties to sway entertainment outlets in Blake's favor. The speculation was that in exchange for exclusives or early Deadpool scoops, certain media figures may have shaped a negative narrative against Justin. Though unverified, the whispers grew louder, prompting Marvel to enter full crisis management mode. The studio, known for its amicable relationships with actors, rarely engaged in public conflicts, making the situation all the more serious. The slow-burning tension erupted when Marvel officially removed Ryan from all upcoming Deadpool projects. Fans were stunned. Many had assumed any issues would be handled privately, perhaps through fines or contract renegotiations. But outright dismissal, that seemed inconceivable. Headlines exploded. Ryan Reynolds dropped by Marvel. Deadpool franchise in turmoil. And did Blake's actions doom Ryan's career? For an actor who had tirelessly championed Deadpool's success, proving an R-rated superhero could thrive, this was a staggering blow. Insiders claim Ryan was devastated, torn between fury and disbelief. He reportedly felt betrayed, unable to reconcile how the studio he had steadfastly supported could cut him loose over allegations fueled by incomplete evidence. In the aftermath, rumors swirled about a tense meeting between Ryan and Marvel executives. Some claim he presented alternative narratives, arguing that his references in Blake's messages were misrepresented. He insisted he had never engaged in strategic manipulation, nor had he leaked confidential Marvel plans. Yet, the studio, rattled by the growing scandal, stood firm. The possibility of Deadpool being recast or shelved entirely loomed large, signaling a seismic shift in Ryan's career.
But I was like just tracking him down, and then I finally got to read the script, and the script was a thriller. So that was a little confusing to me because he's like such a funny director.
Yeah.
And so I said, what is this? Because the script is definitely like a twisting, turning, intense thriller. Is it a comedy or a thriller? And he said, yes. So then every day on set, I was like, is today a comedy or is it a thriller?
It's a good mix
and
of
it's
both.
like, it's like really kind of over the top and campy and trashy and fun and like,
It's a
kind of like my outfit, I guess.
Fans erupted online, with some blaming Blake outright, branding her alleged actions as the catalyst for Ryan's downfall. Others defended Marvel, asserting that the studio prioritized brand integrity above all else. A third camp questioned if the entire controversy had been blown out of proportion. Was this merely a case of misunderstanding spiraling out of control? For Blake, the scrutiny intensified. Once celebrated for her effortless blend of glamour and talent, she now faced accusations of maneuvering that had cost Ryan his Marvel future. Had she knowingly pushed boundaries, assuming Ryan's status would protect her, or had she underestimated the consequences of her actions? Even her staunchest supporters struggled to reconcile her past image with a flood of allegations. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni, caught in the crossfire, maintained a composed stance. Despite the allegations against him, he methodically released message logs refuting Blake's claims with unedited evidence. He insisted he had no ill will toward Ryan or Blake, but his priority was defending his directorial reputation. With Marvel's involvement, however, the stakes had far surpassed anything he had anticipated.
It's believing that people and humanity are inherently good. And they crave nutritious food in their soul, just as they do in their bodies.
Ryan's troubles didn't end with Marvel. His brand partnerships and future projects were thrown into uncertainty. Once a marketing favorite, his comedic ads were now viewed with hesitation by sponsors wary of backlash. Even film deals unrelated to Marvel stalled, as studios hesitated over potential further revelations. Privately, Ryan reportedly fumed over Marvel's decision, believing the studio had acted prematurely. He felt scapegoated for a scandal ignited primarily by Blake's behind-the-scenes maneuvers, actions he may not have fully understood or condoned. To those close to him, his reaction was a mix of sorrow and frustration. An actor who had dedicated himself to Deadpool's success, now suddenly exiled fans, too, felt betrayed. Online petitions demanded Marvel reinstate Ryan, or at least provide conclusive proof of wrongdoing. Many believed the studio had succumbed to media pressure, punishing both Ryan and the audience that had embraced his portrayal of Deadpool.
The idea that people think that they know you, I think because of how intrusive media is these days, there's people care so much more about your personal life than they do your work, and if you aren't open with your personal life, then they just make it up for you and share it for you.
As scrutiny intensified, more production staff from Justin's film came forward. They described Blake's insistence on last-minute script changes and subtle threats to boycott promotional efforts if her preferences were ignored. Some recalled Ryan's brief set visits, once perceived as friendly but now reconsidered as possible intimidation tactics. Ryan's reported meltdown, though not captured on record, was described as a combination of anger and grief. A performer who had built a career on humor now found humor powerless to mend the damage. Meanwhile, rumors suggested he might release his own trove of messages to clear his name, but skeptics questioned why he hadn't already.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well. And I was one of 2 people, maybe. And then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what?
Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
In the midst of the turmoil, some in Hollywood expressed sympathy for Ryan. Was he merely collateral damage in Blake's strategic missteps? Others were less forgiving, arguing that Ryan had blurred the lines between his comedic persona and real-life influence for years, and if Marvel saw evidence of misconduct, cutting ties was justified for now. The question remains. Can Ryan redeem himself and reclaim his place as Deadpool? Or has Marvel's decision cemented his exit for good? One thing is certain. The star once deemed inseparable from his wisecracking antihero now finds himself at the center of Hollywood's latest cautionary tale, proving how quickly success can unravel in the face of controversy.